what we are getting to at the end is we're finishing up with the music, because for us the easiest way to promote Uganda is through our music. The nominations, the nominations need, from West Africa to South Africa, Europe, Asia, I've been awarded there, and I see the power of a Nawuliranga, the power of an Njogereza, the power of a Tumunonye, to the nominations for a lot of my songs that are not only urban, naye, by a local touch. So in Navio Power, and I said, why don't we explore this? I cannot go on my 10th album. I cannot now do another album that doesn't have some of that culture in it. So I said, let me dedicate a whole album using my TV show to promote that. Yeah, to promote Ugandan music and Ugandan music, real Ugandan sounds, not just Jamaican with Luganda on top. Real cultural music that inspires.
Talking about the 9 districts, omuntu yandibadde yeebuuza nti sente nnyingi nnyo zino okugenda mu districts zino zonna okukola project eno, kikutwalira sente nga mmeka okumalawo project eno?
To do a project like this, it's even hard to say how much, because some places we work for 3 days, other places ogendawo muchiro okomawo the next day, so it's impossible to even put a budget on all of it. Naye ebadde labor of love. So when you have a labor of love, whether it's 100 million, whether it's 150 million, you're going to make sure you get the job done. And for me, we didn't have any support. We didn't have support from tourism. We didn't have support from the ministry. We didn't have support from the board. We had support for the press conference. They gave us this hall, UWA. So we had support from UWA, but we didn't have support from anyone else. So it was just Navio, NBS, NavCorp and NBS. We did it for the love of Ugandan music, the love of Ugandan tourism, love of wanting to do something more. And we still have no support, but we're going to try and do season 2.
When you try to look at the sponsors you have on board, tulabako Uganda Wildlife Authority, omuntu yandibadde alowooza nti eno project eyinza okuba nga eri government aided.
No, it's not a government aided project. UWA was just kind enough to give us this space for the press conference. And we're going to be working with UWA very closely for season 2. But season 1, we were just Ugandans with a camera. But the Chigozi, just me, Chigozi, and the camera crew. Me and my friends. And I think it's also built the success of the show, because Tewali agenda. We're not trying to push too much tourism. We're not trying to push too much music. We're not trying to push too much, of wildlife. Wali work up balance, and I think Ugandans, we don't need to pressure each other. So with a show like Navio X, wali work balance. We're not trying to pressure you, and I think that's why the success of the show has been so much.
When you look at the peak gyokolesanga gundi yandibadde nga ekifaananyi kya project eno, the Navio X project, kuliko gwe ng'olimu wamu ne taatawo, your dad, what does it mean?
Man, coming from a long line of Baganda, I think, I have 2 villages. One of them is in Najana Kupi. So literally, you built the city around my village. And we're able to name our ancestors going back almost 700 years. Tambulu Muganda, you're lucky. We would have needed 3 in Njogerezas for me to do it completely. I'm blessed to be rooted in a place where I can name my ancestors like that. And I wanted to give a bit of that spirit to the rest of Ugandans. And it doesn't matter what tribe you come from. I'm from Fumbe. I'm a Muganda, but I wanted, we didn't even do Baganda on this. We're doing it for season 2. Episode 2, season 2 is where we're doing the Baganda, because I wanted to make it a Ugandan thing. I wanted to show people from, Karamoja what a Muganda does, what a person from Toro does. I want to show someone from Toro what people in Sebei do, just so that we can start seeing ourselves as Ugandans, as one people.
Katumaliza, you sold out Sheraton on the 20 years of Navio. What next? Over this is the project we are looking at after the concert.
Definitely, the next concert is going to be heavily influenced by culture.
Next year,
this year we're making a special announcement in 2 weeks about both the show. Nina book. I have a book as well. that's going to be training young artists who are coming into the industry. So in a book, and I have a concert. Those are coming up, but in 2 weeks is when we're announcing. I'm just telling the people here, especially.
katono nnyo nga tumaliriza project eno tutunidde album zozookola n'abayimbi abalala ze bakola nti ennyimba ezibeerako teziselinga out nga ennyimba era kuyinza otundako ennyimba nga bbiri zokka tutundire project eno ennyimba zonna ziyinza okuba nga golaba nga zirina future nga zonna.
Yeah, all the songs have a future because baliwo bubblegum, baliwo real music. Real music, I can do songs from 2024. I can do songs from 2002. I can do songs from 2010. I can do collaborations. At the last concert, UB40, I did solo songs. People are always like, hey, they're waiting. Come on, child. No one asked for any other music because they said it was perfect. Just Navio songs. Yeah, Nekore Adyange, all those ones. We just did mostly solo Navio songs, and we still managed to do it. So it's about really understanding, what musicianship is, what writing lyrics is. There's a reason I write for a lot of artists in America, in the UK, in Asia, is because I understand music. I can do that same music. I can go and perform in Malaysia tomorrow. Yeah, because I make my music universal. And a lot of people, it takes a long time to learn that talent and that skill. And it's the reason I'm regarded as the best rapper in East Africa. It's the reason I'm regarded as the best rapper in East Africa. I shouldn't be here after 20 years, but people still go back to the old music, the new music, and I'm not. It's not like I'm pumping in money from somewhere. It's like Navio's career runs Navio's career. That's it. I keep that separate from any other thing. Otherwise, we'd be on Davido levels. So when it comes to keeping it real and I think that's the most important thing to me. Keeping it real and keeping the music in an accessible way and keeping it on the same playing field. I come from a family of boxers. Boxers, you know what I mean? You fight in your weight category. I don't want extra tools. I don't need extra tools to defeat you. I don't need extra tools to outdo someone. I want to be same weight. Let's do same weight. You have the same studio, I have the same studio. Use the same phenon, I use the same phenon. Let's do the music business and see where we land up. And I think that's what's given me 20 years in the industry.
Okay, thank you so much.
That's
I go by the name of Navio, Daniel Chigozi, for those who know me. Grew up here in Kampala. I want to thank all of you guys, first of all, for making it down here and being a part of the project. I want to thank all the amazing people up here as well for being involved. There were so many different crews working on so many different aspects of it. Of course, you've seen what we've done as far as the video production, but there was a huge interest in what we were doing as far as the music as well. So I want to send a big shout out to everyone who was involved in the music side, which is what we're celebrating here today, alongside a celebration of the show for this season and what it's meant to so many people out there. When we started off the project, we wanted to do something that was fun. We found that we were going to places, and as an artist, you do 100, 150 shows a year. A lot of those are outside of Kampala. And we're like, what happens when we take people along with us? See the vision, like we'll be there standing on top of a rock, somewhere in Tororo, and be like, wow, look at that view. And there's only 3 of us there. There's only so many people you can capture. So I feel like the amplification that has happened through an NBS, for example, is so great because now when we turn around and we say, look at that sunset, look at that, look at Narubani right now, check out these fruits and these foods, the things we talk about and we want the rest of Uganda to know about. At least now we have a way to get that into people's living rooms, so that's a beautiful thing. But also remember, apart from the eyes and what you're seeing, there is the ear, the different languages that people are speaking. I have friends that I grew up with who have literally only been to Entebbe and back. And they're rich, by the way. They really have no excuse, like barons, the barons of this world. So I thought it was some, people in our, I won't say age range, because then you'll ask questions. But some, there are people in a certain bracket who don't move and don't travel. They feel like it's not cool or it's not something they should do, and they don't find time for it in their schedule. And I think that's another thing we wanted to change the narrative on, was that we can be Ugandan, you can be urban. There's no way you should be going to Dubai before Morocco. There's no way you should be, going to, traveling the world before you know what's right under your nose and the beauty that you can have and the substance and the, domestic tourism destinations you can go to that are right under your nose. So, as well, hearing the music, that aspect of it, we decided to really give that its fair attention. Every episode finishes where we blend with, whether it's a local choir, whether it's an old man that has a singing voice, whether it's, children in a school. We end every episode using the sights and sounds of what we've seen. We're not going to manage to capture all of it. We're not going to manage to capture all the beauty of it, but we can capture at least some of it and record it and put it down, for our people to know about, throughout the country. We need to learn about each other. I think that's the most important thing. Yeah. So, let me leave it there for now.
Yeah.
Thank you guys all again. Big up to Hennessy, who's come along for the journey. Big up to Pepsi. Big up Aura, Uwa, and of course, it goes without saying, NBS, 8 p.m. every Thursday. We are together.
Tonight.
Yes, Navio X project. So,
Great.
Keep it chill.
Now,
You go to everywhere, like it's nowhere we haven't been. There's no culture we haven't interacted with, so it's been a crazy opportunity to capture these sounds and turn them into something.
what's the difference between capturing sounds in studio and being in the wild of Uganda? Like, because I know you capture bottle tops, I've seen you capture, all sorts of things, but then you are now doing this, you're capturing the waterfalls and all that. How does it feel?
You feel more connected to nature, to people, to sort of spiritual, like to a deeper level.
Yeah.
Because we are capturing these sounds in their purest form.
Yeah.
And transforming them into something that is accessible.
Mm-hmm.
So, me personally, it's a crazy experience,
Yeah.
great opportunity.
Yeah. On this album, Abasa, if I'm to ask you, on this album that you have, because you worked on a few, not a few, but very many albums. First of all, you're going to introduce us and tell us what position you're holding currently at Swans. It's very important. Because I want these people to understand that this project has actually been one that, Navio took time to understand that I need to get the perfect of all this. What is the difficulty in matching those sounds and making it sound stream-worthy, stuff that can be consumed, basically, since this is also something that is in the media. What was that experience like for you?
Yeah, I think that was the main challenge, was the way Baro has said, it's pretty straightforward to just go and record a bunch of people playing drums, right? But to transform it into a 3-minute piece that fits within what Navio is able to work with, and that expresses his identity, but also expresses the identity of the culture that we visited. And also the stories, like I think we would go there like a day or two prior, and just sit with guys.
Also, you go a day before to get,
Just be there.
yeah, entanglement in the culture.
Yeah, so I think by the time these guys would arrive, it would be a clean slate. Like we would have to go and I think in Morocco we had to, like, there was a group of old guys, they're just like gray-haired people, and then they're like, you have to buy us snuff. You have to buy them alcohol, comes in like buckets, right?
Okay.
And then snuff, which is like a weird thing that they sniff.
Yeah.
And so we buy it for them, then they sit in that thing, they discuss, and then
That's their electricity.
this is like 2 days before he comes, and then we have to like interact with them, and then they accept us, and they start telling stories.
Wow.
And then we set up mics. So I think that by the time Danny arrives, we've already kind of figured out what's the story that we want to do within this region.
Mm-hmm.
And then going forward, it's like, how do we translate that into a message that he understands,
Yeah.
but a message that would also translate on Spotify or on any other, like a YouTube or even on NBS. Like
Yeah.
the visual team really did a great job. I truly appreciate that as well. Yeah.
Great. Awesome. Your position? So you can't hide.
Fair.
Yeah.
Currently, I'm the head of record label at Swans Avenue.
Okay. Do we have any musicians here? Laban.
And then it's the current affairs station. Yet this still makes sense because there's tourism to that and there's a whole lot more other things to this. We say we inform to transform Uganda, and he has tapped into that right there because we have television platforms, but we are not doctors to give them the right.
That, with NBS, they also kept me on my toes. When I went to present this to the entire team, they sat around and after about 47 seconds, they started looking at each other. Okay. they communicate without even communicating.
That's one team.
Yes. And then, he just said, Thursdays at 8. And Kid was like, yeah, fix. Deal done. And you can imagine, we came together to do this without any sponsor, without any backing, no government backing. Really just found a brand that wanted to push the tourism agenda. We have that explore, the 4 pillars.
Love Uganda, explore Uganda, hope, and yeah.
Absolutely. So with those pillars and the show, I think it just makes perfect sense. So
Awesome.
I want to thank them for making the decision. within 4 minutes,
Yeah.
it was very gut-wrenching. But
Yeah.
anyways.
I think you should give yourself more credit. It's easier for people to make decisions with you in the boardroom. We've got a gentleman called Tom the Myth Mayanja, and I think this project has been very interesting because it is musical creation meeting cultural exploration. And I think Tom, the Myth story comes in from the world of cultural exploration. And he has explored this country. First of all, just from here, Kampala alone, he has been able to see the depths of what Uganda has to offer. So I want to know from you, Tom. He is Mr. He's a Ugandan. You have been doing this before I actually. I don't know how to say this without making you laugh like that, but I'm hoping you can take this serious. Tom, the Myth, Jinja, Moroto, Karamoja, Fort Portal, Gulu, Kabale, Kapchora, Butaleja, Mbale. Why Butaleja turning out to be your favorite of all these places? Yet I know for sure places like Jinja excite you.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for coming through. For me, Butaleja is home. That's where my mother is from. She's a Munyole. So going there, seeing my grandmother, we actually first got lost. These people were not listening to me and they thought they knew where my judges is.
Who you go believe?
So, we first got lost, but then Butaleja is where my grandmother is, where my mother is from. So it was great going home, I've known Navio for forever. Our families have known each other forever, but he had not come to that side of my family. So it was great for me taking Baru, Navio, Flex, just the whole team, everyone who's here, taking them to home. There are no hotels that side. There's nothing fancy. We were in the house, in the houses with my grandmother, with my uncles, my aunties, the people who raised me. So it was great having that. They got to experience. I mean, in the morning, I let them go check out the rice farms and all that. They got to experience that. We got to experience. We went to the school where I think it was open 2 years after. My grandfather went to it 2 years after it was open. He studied there. He taught there. We lost him, but he's still such an important pillar in the community. So for me, it was just great having these guys come experience that with me. And yeah.
Hitting home has never felt the same. Like
Bruh,
yeah.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
As when you say we, it's clear cut. We started with Percussion Discussion Africa. We did an album with them, Clear Discussion, that got nominated for the chorus and took us around the world, you know, just traveling and touring. 2019, yeah.
You are lying.
When we were young guys.
It was 1998.
2019.
Yeah.
It was in 2005. No. It was like 9, 10.
Yes.
It was 9, 10. We were back. Yeah. So we traveled, got nominated for the Cora Awards and everything, and you know, so it's something that we have been passionate about because, you know, identity. The fact that we've been fortunate enough to travel and see different places. It's important to come back and, you know, when you go out there, say, oh, I am Ugandan. You know, people joke about the Kenyans with their bracelets, say, have they given that at birth?
Yeah.
You know, but it's an identity. You are from this place, you are this person, you represent this. And with music and culture and food and language and traditional attire and everything, it's a nice way for us to be billboards for the country. You know, so it's something important to us. Doing the music, like Abasa said, these guys would go ahead of us. You know, they'll go experience that. These songs that you have on this album are just the tip of something bigger.
Okay.
You know, there's so much more music we created. There's so many more songs that are there. You know, we learned a lot. It's such a great experience. And, you know, even if you don't want to, you'd rather go somewhere else, my advice is just go check out, even if you just go to Ginger, which is as I like, go to Ginger and also try and experience the cultural side of it. It's such a enlightening experience.
Therapeutic.
Therapy.
Great. Mr. Shimba, I think
In particular is something that is personal to me. Because one, I know the man, but also I've been a fan for such a long time. For 20 years, I think. Has it been doing this? No, he says 20, but sometimes. Also, Danny, you told me I was going to be breakfast. I didn't see.
NSC.
Anyway, so you know, there's been a complete shift in the media industry and how we function. You know, it is because of social media and all these other things that have happened. It's not a situation of build it and they will come anymore because it has completely shifted. And as a business, as a group, we have come to realize that, and we have found value in partnering with all these different people that make content that people are actually interested in.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, it doesn't make sense for us to spend and want to save the amount of money to do a TV show that nobody is going to watch.
True.
So we are actively looking out for partnerships with all these content creators to give them a space to illustrate what they can do as Ugandans. Because as a business with a vision of informing to transform, we think that it makes more sense for us to let Ugandans tell their own stories rather than us being the people who are actually crafting this story together.
Okay.
So yes, the Navio partnership and all the others that we have done, especially in the content space in the last 2 years, are very intentional projects because we are trying to grow ourselves as a business, but also grow the people on the other end, the content creators, so that it's not a situation of people can only make money when Netflix commissions something.
True.
We, as the people who have grown to be the big business that we are, how do we support our own people? That's where the conversation comes from.
Thank you. So I guess that is a key.
But then he's telling us stories. That basically we know. He's picking inspiration from elsewhere and trying to tell the stories. The stories that speak about us. He's doing something because he got inspired from another place and he's doing it the Ugandan way. So we wanted to be part of that. We wanted to be part of something, an innovation, because we are all about innovation. It is a fusion of our culture and what the other people know as hip-hop. Something new, something that is the best representation of who we are as Ugandans. That yes, we may not be there, but we are going to tell our stories. We are going to inspire ourselves and we are going to let the world know that yes, this place in Africa and this is all about them. So when Navio came to us, it was a huge opportunity for us to show that yes, we are working with someone who wants to tell stories that are Ugandan and they're doing it the Ugandan way. So as a company that is forward thinking, that knows that yes, maybe there are people that want to compare what is here with what is elsewhere without putting it in perspective, without understanding that we don't need to be like the other people, we have to be ourselves. So that is why, and we want this to be a stepping stone for all the future projects from Navio and any other artists that yes, we have the canvas, come and paint. Yeah, come and paint.
What are the opportunities if someone wanted to get in touch with Mobikas? Because these are things we are looking for right now. So what is the criteria, for example?
To be honest, we want to do things that we like.
Yeah.
One of our greatest ethos that Mobikas is, if you do things you like, you have no regrets.
Yes.
You just do what you like.
Yeah.
Sometimes it pays off, sometimes it doesn't, but you liked it.
True.
So we shall like your work and
Creatives. Creatives like that. Abasa, please, Ewan.
I just wanted to say something about hip hop. Yeah?
Yes, please.
Because you were speaking about hip hop and I kind of got inspired. Kenny, thank you so much for doing this.
Yes.
I want everyone to know that, okay, so hip hop is not just rap. Right? Hip hop includes b-boy, it includes skateboard, it includes spray paint, it includes so many parts of it. Yeah, it includes so many, there's dancing, it includes so many things that are cultural. And I just wanted to point out that we are adding another layer, right? Which is truly Ugandan and a way that we can keep sort of the heritage that we have, but in a format that people consume day to day. Because we always listen to Drake, we listen to ASAP, and now we can listen to them, but also not forget where we are from. And I just wanted to say that, like, because I just noticed that when you spoke about hip hop, and I'm like, yeah, hip hop has so many layers, and then we got like Danny adding a whole other layer. That's really where my jazz head is. Yeah.
I like that. That is so.
Brands like Hennessy have linked up. We've been able to work with them on a project like this. Is simply because they have been all about pushing the culture, and this was an avenue that they never even thought about. Okay, this is culture, and usually you see things in a global way, so you'd be like, okay, this is black culture. But then within that, we have an African identity that is the root of what's developed black culture now. So to us, to people saying, hey, bust some rhymes, don't talk. Like,
yeah.
we have our formats of how this has been done.
Yeah.
I think it was very important for all the brands involved to kind of explore, okay, we're here in this new world, but have we forgotten a certain truth?
Mm-hmm.
How can we bring the ancestors onto what we're doing?
Mm-hmm.
And of course for me, there's a lot of us who, during the Civil War, etc., had to move out, guys who went out for 15 years, we come back with an identity, a black identity, but not an African identity.
Yes.
And that's what I've been trying to kind of, because I can't have a grandfather who's practically a chief and not be able to connect with my roots and what it's all about.
Yeah.
And then once I learn about my own people, I'm like, wow, to the west, there's so much happening, to the north, to the east, and this is just one country. So I think I really wanted to kind of evolve music and evolve it backwards, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Whatever we've missed coming forward to create our own culture, we shouldn't need to borrow, of course the rhythms come from here, with Jamaica and whatnot. We shouldn't need to borrow. We have so much of our own influence, and we've seen that. We've seen the power of that. When we and the Net fly in for Freema Awards, we're sometimes nominated for hip hop. Other times you find Jogereza, for example, was right next to Tiwa Savage, Davido, Wizkid for best artist, best song, best video, and best writer, which Mr. UNICHU actually won. He won best writer in Africa.
Oh, wow.
Africa for Jogereza.
That's awesome.
So there is power in our own music. We just have to get to the root of it, and hopefully this is a door opener. Baru spearheaded the production. Amazing job, and of course, because Abasa's the money, Swans we could only steal him away for a few projects, so for 3 or 4 of the projects of the album, and Atengo one as well. We have the sweet vocals with him. there and on the Karma Joke song. But also, Baru, the story goes back so long. From us sharing beats, you know, it's giving me beats late when my albums are ready. And I'll be like, my God, this guy is so dope. So we've worked a couple of times. But I'd always say to him, and I'd be like, by the time we link up, I know we're gonna make history. Yeah. I know we're gonna do something that's gonna change the way Ugandan music works. And I'm so glad that I kept my promise. And he's done exactly that, man. So yeah, big up to the production.
A round of applause to Baru and Abasa. An amazing job, amazing job. All right, so Navio, now what next? I mean, now we have this official launch. We now know that this is...
So you'll be able to do a pre-save. Make sure you guys go and get your pre-saves for all your platforms. You can check them out on all my platforms, the links are there. So at midnight, the album goes live. We're going to be able to talk about it. We're going to be able to chat together. We're going to be able to look at what we could have done better or worse. It's important to mention that we wanted to do it as live as possible. The last time I did this was with a Just Jose on the African Hustler music, where you go in with notes. You don't have complete lyrics.
Yeah.
You go in with notes, and you know, you have Baru trying to set up the shields to block sound. Yeah. You have Awasa running around with wires. You have the myth, you know, talking to an old elder to get some rich history that he comes in with last second. Yeah. And of course we're filming, so we have a professional film crew with us, trying to film the whole thing. So big respect as well to all the guys, you know, with the film crew who've done their thing. You know, from Adrian to Hennik's Touch, big up to him. And we had some clips as well in the first episode from Isaac. So it was just amazing. The way that we came together was amazing. But the next steps are basically to now show that influence, show people that there is a way to use our culture in music. And of course, this is going up to volume 10.
Yeah.
You know, X is 10.
Okay.
So this is the first volume of many more volumes to come. Okay. We have 50, 60 tribes. Just know that this is the beginning of a long whatever. Where also, remember, this started in COVID. Now that we're free of that, we want to now bring on artists for season 2 to be telling that story. You know, I will play a host role and get more of that story told by now. Some of the bigger artists that are coming out, that's always been the vision, even for season 1. But we weren't able to do it because trying to get celebs out of their house during COVID. We literally started filming, you know, the first 2 episodes in lockdown. And yeah, I'm just so glad and thankful that it's managed to come this far. So get ready for it. We're also going to be at Aura for the release party later. Right. So make sure everyone comes through for the at Aura. We're going to be celebrating and waiting until midnight, until the album drops. There's going to be all sorts of merch and everything there for sale. And that's going to be on the website as well, naviomusic.com. So make sure you head to the website, make sure you get the pre-saves, stream the album, and make sure most importantly you share it. If you're from all the regions we went to, please send this to not only yourself, send it to your judge at the village. Later I'll also give you some notes.
They will
we come back stronger for the season 2.
Yeah. Thank you very much for that. Now, before I put it down for Q&A, I would love to let you know it's...
He has done poems for kings, queens. He was at the marriage even of Prince Harry, presidents. He's really one of those voices for the youth. And he's a Ugandan, if people didn't know. He does the intro called X on the album. Nice. And then we have an amazing array of artists who also came on and did their thing. So great. Yeah, too many to mention, but I'd love to instead use the time to do that, and we can do personal interviews as well for Uganda. All right.
So basically what we could do with this, just to make it easy.
What we're trying to do is learn.
Yeah.
This is a learning experience. Like, go in like it's your first day. Yeah. These things are because he's who he is and we are who we are. Yeah. That didn't matter. It's best you go into these experiences fresh, right? Learn. True. And that was the one thing. Baru was... It was hard to work with.
Why is everyone speaking for me?
Please say something.
You know,
this guy is a character assassinating, man.
You know why he's saying it's so hard to work with me?
Why?
Because usually you have to keep up.
You know what? Let's listen to this music because this will be the judge of it. So Navio, I want you to go.
We met them in the moment.
Yeah.
We didn't want to lose that. It was very important to capture the energy and in its purest form.
Yeah.
That's why like we insisted on him freestyling, not like overthinking stuff.
Yeah.
So we captured stuff from the field, turn them into songs, then he would do his thing. We didn't allow him to write.
Man.
Was that crazy?
Now you're changing, you guys.
Yeah.
These are the things we watch on YouTube. And you're here. All right, so grab that microphone, Navio, and take us through this. DJ, I think the intro, you can play the whole intro. Is that okay? Or is it too long?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, we can play the whole intro, and then from there we can, you will take us through.